Okay, so the question is, how do I help writers who are at all different levels? And you might even want to take notes for this one. Perhaps there's 5 things that I want to cover. Number one is I want you to determine if the writing problem is will versus skill. And what that means is it because they like they really, really can't write? And they are really struggling and they just can't do it and they're breaking down? Or is it will, meaning this is a behavioral thing? They can do it, but they just don't do it. So that's different. And so the will one will go into a separate video about like classroom management, like in behaviors and stuff. We'll put that over there. Okay. So let's suppose you have determined that the problem is skill. So let's keep going down the path. So what I would do is at the beginning of the year, I would involve them in the workshop structure just the same as anybody else, because you will see some students flourish in this type of student-led fun workshop that you would never have imagined. And some of your will kids will come around too. So I would start them with that voice activity and then take a look at their writing and see how they do with that. Because sometimes things like dialogue or inner thoughts or having attitude can bring out like a whole different side to them. And they start to view writing as something different. So just see how they do with that. And then from there, after you've done the voice activity, so that's number 2. So let's suppose they've done that and that's not looking good. And you're on to number 3, which is I think they're going to really need some intervention. So let's think of this like whenever you're doing an assignment or something, it's best to do this with a partner. It could always be with yourself. That's really hard when you have a whole class, I know. But let's suppose if you get them trained well, they can do this in partners. So you have 2 kids now, one semi-strong and the one who's struggling, who are going to create a paragraph together. You give them a stack of sticky notes and you have them write an answer to a question. What's the best place to visit in the summer? Whatever. And they go back and forth one at a time where they do it together and they say their sentence out loud, what they think it is, and they can talk it through. I think the best place to eat blah, blah, blah. And then that kid gets that sentence and they write it down on a sticky note. Second sentence, that's your job. What should go after that? So they start to see how ideas connect, but they're getting a whole new viewpoint. And so that kid says their sentence out loud. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And then they write theirs down. Okay, now it's your turn. For example, we could go to, and then they go on and they go back and forth until you have 4 or 5 sticky notes. Put the sticky notes together in order. They sit next to each other. Now they're going to rewrite it completely so that if they get into the habit of what a full paragraph feels like, and then you can step in and take a look at what they were able to do together. If that is still too hard, I would have them work with you. They say out loud what their thoughts are. You write it down on a sticky note and then go from there, and then they write it out. So you kind of want to get them like the hardest or the most difficult child to get to would be the one that you have to work to one-on-one. So you kind of want to see, I'm going to go through all these different things here, like to try to see if the workshop will answer this. If that's not, maybe a partner, maybe sticky notes, and then down to you. But once you do that, you'll be able to lift them back up to where they are then working with a partner, building a paragraph, and then doing it on their own. Now, let's suppose you have skill gaps, right? So you've got all these things that you feel like they're not really doing very well. And I'll talk later about how warm-ups can fill skill gaps. But I do want to tell you about 2 different websites that I would use if, like, let's suppose you're doing centers or something during language arts. So the 2 are quill.org. The reason why I like Quill is because it started out as sentence combining stuff where they would give them fragments or whatever. They have to type in the complete sentence, which is what I do in my warm-ups. That's what I teach, is the one thing you have to do every single day. So then they also do it over in Quill. However, what's cool about it is that it's not multiple choice. They have to type it out like 100% perfect, or the computer won't let them move on. It'll give them hints like, oh, you forgot, it's the spelling, it's the capitalization, it's the comma or whatever. So they get that muscle memory of what a correct sentence feels like. It's not super fun it's not like one of these fun programs. It's one of those things where it's like you need to do 10 minutes on Quill. That's the way it goes. But that's why you're hitting all these different like emotional buckets of the writing of the workshop, and we have fun here and there, and they will accept more from you, more expectations, the more that you also give them more deposits into their emotional writing bucket. Now, the thing about Quill is that I just noticed recently they have a lot of upgrades, and it's like phenomenal. They have it's a nonprofit, it's funded by a bunch of big companies, and they now have short constructed responses. It's super cool. So you do short little paragraph writing that follows with your claim and your evidence and all that. They also have, if you've ever read The Writing Revolution, one of my favorite parts of Writing Revolution is taking a sentence and changing it with because, but, so. Abraham Lincoln was the president because, or whatever, and you do the same start of the frame and then you change it because, but, so. So they can see the connection between the subject and predicate, and that is in there. So they practice all of that, and it's got like the AI bot goes in there and it gives them feedback and then hints, and then if they get to the point where they just cannot get it, it'll highlight like, look here. What do you see? I mean, it walks it through like a tutor. It's so cool. Quill.org. Second one is I would use Edpuzzle Originals. There's a section in there when you go into Edpuzzle on the top left, it'll say Originals. And those are the ones that they're like building out this whole new program of high quality videos that they are making. They've been hiring people, language arts professionals and all, math, everything. And they've got some really phenomenal ones on grammar, on morphology. Like that's where I would really fill in the gaps when you cannot get to every single bit of this, using station rotations or something and having that be part of it so that you can work with a small group or one kid if you have to. But they're filling the gaps as you go along. And the Quill thing, it works at their own level. It determines like, you do like a diagnostic at the beginning. And so all the questions will be based on where their level is at. So you're differentiating the whole classroom just with Quill right there. So if you have a question for my little Friday get together here, please put it down in the comments, and I will put links to everything that I mentioned in today's video. It will be down below, and then I will see you over in the next one.